What a drop we had on the SPY. So let's talk about first kind of how the day went yesterday, what we did, how it looked. I'm going to go to the regular hours just to help ease what the candles look like. Um, so let's talk about what happened here, right? Before that fall. So you can see, where is this? Wednesday. Okay, so we got the fall from Wednesday. We talked about that yesterday. Market open Thursday was right here. So, if y'all remember, I mean, we had this line right here, right? We were talking about the fact that we had this trend line here. You know, it did hold here, it did hold there, 441. Y'all know that my main rejection was if we stay below that 443.90. You want to stay put, right? Because we're going to continue to downtrend. And you can see back here we did that. We had our triple top right here. We rejected, created that lower high, the lower low, the lower high, the lower low, right? It played the pattern. So our indicator did well. I mean, even if you look at the downtrend that we had, right? It took some nice long scalps, flipped to that short, took another little mini scalp, and then we had our double top breakdown. We did get the short call, and an alert that I had. Let me delete that. I put an alert because I wanted to see if it broke this 200 EMA on the 2 minute. It did not. So, kind of how to play this. You see here in the morning. We had some lines that we drew. When we came down this way, we double bottomed. We came up. This was my line for my retest. It failed the retest, telling us that we had further downside. We did draw this line from this peak. Kind of once we saw this pull up and we saw this as resistance, I just kind of threw a line in between that. We did reclaim it, retest it. Now this is the most important part. We double topped on top of the 200 on the 2 minute, right, and then that caused the further fall. So now looking at the 1 minute, I mean, so overall, I mean, if you followed our indicators, you had a great day. So here's the interesting part, guys, is this is what I was really talking about yesterday, and I think Wednesday. So we actually had Tesla to 200. We did good. I live traded shorting the market yesterday. So because like I said, we have this bullish divergence that was popping up right here, right? This was there. That divergence was there, and it didn't play out too bad, right? I mean, you had little pumps through each divergence, right? So it did call that. My anticipation was that if the larger divergence played from this following channel and that we flipped this 200, remember I said we had to flip this 200 before we wanted to take any calls on that. This was back when we were 448, right? If we flip the 200, then you would stay long, but if you didn't flip the 200, right, we wanted to stay short. Then my other call was if we stay below this 21, you want to try to stay put as well. You can see this is that trend line that I had here. And my throat today for some reason is a mess, but apologize for keep clearing it, but I got no choice. So this teal one here is I took this lower wick here. I just want to show you guys how I pulled this. And we just kind of pulled this upward like that, right? It looks like I took this. Where did I take this off of? I might have moved it a little bit. I think I was lining it up with this here too. So if y'all remember back here, I think this one got moved. So I'm gonna pull this teal one. That's why I always double check it. I forgot to lock it, I'm sure. I don't like that one, so I'm gonna take it off. All right, so let's zoom out on the 1 hour. Y'all remember on the SPY when we were up here, I was able to when we were on the SPY like this, I was able to talk about the head and shoulder fact right here, and so we had the potential shoulder, the head we had to form, and then the shoulder, right? So we have not completely formed the lower neckline, that lower neckline form would be 431.45, and that's kind of what I've been anticipating like forever. Y'all know who's been following. No, I like to talk about where I got that number. I didn't just pull it out somewhere. Like I said, in this room we teach you guys how to fish, right? We don't give you the fish. So this is a heavy rejection point that was found as support at one point, right? And then you come back this way, right? It's still a very viable support within here. And there's a little lower, right, for rejection point here. So there could be some room between 429.90 and 431, somewhere in here, right? It may not stop right at this wick, but that's where I'm expecting to get some kind of a bounce. We are entering that over sold territory again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stay put on this, right, because we're in that falling channel, but I'm going to be very cautious, and this is why I said I'm not trading today, aside from the fact that I'm traveling. I want to just let this play, right? I want to let this pull down. I want it to hit it, find its little support. Once I see it doing this and it holding support, then it's going to be a great ride back up. So you know what I think these lines were? Because I'm like, man, some of these lines just don't even make sense. I think they were, I had people ask me to chart something else, and I drew the lines on it, and so I think it kept my lines because it was on the same chart. I just changed the symbol. So that's why I'm like, well, where are these lines coming from? So let's just clear some of them. So we have the 1 hour. We're far enough from the 21 SMA. I mean, that's 441, guys. That's like, you're almost $8 up there, and we could get that bounce. It's very possible, but I still think we got a little bit to go on the bounce. But when I say I'm staying put, if you do want to trade today, I would not chase the candle down. Don't mark it open, chase that, because if you're in a put already and you want to trail it, hey, more power to you. I know, I think Francisco, I think you're in a trade, so yeah, just if it opens down here, just trail that sucker. And then when you have these the 21 SMA, look for your support, right? Look for your bounce, and then take that rejection and ride that back down is how I would do that. This trend line that we followed for some time, I would still leave this one here, because this could be a pump up rejection point as well too, right? But I would not take with Evergrande filing that bankruptcy and the banking situations that are going on and such. I would not take a call yet. I'll be really careful on calls, guys. The funny part is news always trumps TA, but I always find this, and some of you that are trading, maybe y'all see this too. I'm not an economist. CK is more of that. He's teaching me. I don't claim to be. I never have claimed to be. But I'm very analytical. I'm all about data, patterns, charts. Like I love that, right? I mean, I can stare at these things all day long, and continue to try to learn it. But it's funny to me how the chart would say, hey, we're starting to round here. We have our resistance line that we had hit here. We can't make it. The chart says, we're losing support. Bam, we're down, right? Same thing like we talked about here, right? This was a death cross on the 1 hour. Ever since the 447, we've had this death cross, and we have not been able to break and hold above the 21. I see that as extremely bearish, and so therefore I've been calling for some time that we're going to get down to 431. Now this drop happens, and everybody says, oh, well, the drop happened because of the news. I mean, it did, and I'm sure that's fine, and it could have pumped if the news was bullish. But isn't it funny how when the TA, like the real deep TA stuff lines up, they always magically have news to reverse it. So don't get caught up on that too much, because trust me, that the timing of when they release these news articles is very coordinated. So you don't want to ignore the news. I mean, news is news, and that's why you use stop losses a lot of times. When you're live trading the bigger volumes. with that news, because it could go either way, and sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong. It's just part of trading. So, like I said, where we go from here, I'm anticipating a bounce unless there's continued bad news, right? I mean, if we get absolutely decimated on the news, my low that I have, if it happens to break, was played off of this wick here, which is October 2022 to March 2023, and we have not hit that yet, right? So my longer term anticipation is that we would probably pull back. We're going to find support at 431, hold that for a little bit, or maybe range between 431 and 442, somewhere in there for a little bit, creating this other shoulder. Right around this shoulder is when everybody in the world is going to start saying head and shoulders, market's about to crash, and they'll jump on the train. In our room, I always teach people, don't be afraid to call a pattern early, right? You may be wrong, you may be right, but you can't ignore a potential pattern coming. Now, what I see is if this hits here and then we get a bounce up like this, and we get this rejection back down, it's no coincidence that the whole world's going to say we got this head and shoulder, right? And how we're going to collapse and we're going all the way back to 380, 381. I'm not saying it's impossible. I don't know that I believe that it's going to fall that far yet. I almost see it as a head and shoulder come down here, hit around 423. It's going to hold this support and it's going to explode back out and just invalidate this whole head and shoulder and wreck everybody. So now the only way I believe this head and shoulder, because of the fact this on the daily you have the 200 EMA that's going to line up pretty much right where this trend line is. It's going to be massive support. But if it can break that and it actually holds, we get down to 418, 417, yes, that fall is going to be nasty, and we'll probably come all the way down to 380 for a retest. But I'm not calling that yet. I don't think that's the play. I think that 431 we'll get a little kind of a dead cat bounce. Everybody loves it to say that term. And then I think we'll see another resistance rejection around 443, and then I think between 430 and 425, somewhere in here, right, it's going to hold support and just explode. Maybe as high back as 457. So that's kind of how I see the SPY playing out. Just stick to your rules. That's all I can say. When the candles start moving this fast, it's extremely easy to FOMO, right, and to chase things, and don't do that. Not good. So I'm not gonna cover all of these other ones unless you ask in TikTok, because I'm gonna make this one a little shorter because I do have to hit the road. But I did see somebody say Tesla to 200, so let's see. So Tesla, I mean it's working out, pretty close to what I had mentioned, what I saw, and so let's just talk briefly about that. So I'm gonna mute the harmonic one. So remember, I zoomed out on this one purposely. Remember I said we teach people the peaks, right? We went over this yesterday, how you have your peak, higher peak, equal peaks, on this side. And then the moment we had this rejection here, I just talked about this yesterday. I said the moment we have this rejection here equal to this rejection here, if that can't hold and we can't break a higher high, right, to come up like that, it's likely going to break down. And there it goes, broke down, right? I will say, the only caveat I'll say is I thought that it was going to hold support around 225 from this trend line, at least from a little bounce. It did not, it broke, but here's my white line here at 217. This was a prior resistance area. And so my anticipation, somewhere in between 207 and 217, somewhere in these resistance zones, you're going to get somewhat of a bounce at least. I mean, we're on the 1 hour, we are oversold. You do have the higher low, so it is getting some bullish divergence. So don't for the Tesla to 200, I'm not saying you were wrong and that it's not possible. I think anybody that throws out random numbers like 200, I don't play the random numbers. I like to stick more in the data, but I mean, we do have a support zone right in here, right, from our zone tracker, but it's pretty weak. It's only from this right there. So I think it's going to have a tough road ahead to break, 207, 212. These are going to be pretty tough areas too. So don't count Tesla out, because everybody who you look at, like, let's say this resistance line we had right here. Everybody was thinking, oh, we created a lower low and we have this resistance line, we're not going to break it. And then sure enough, it broke it, and all those people just got absolutely decimated. Same thing with like this head and shoulder, right? Everybody entered their head and shoulder. The book says enter here, right? Don't enter the fall, enter the rejection. And then they got wrecked on their head and shoulder. So trust your TA, stick to your charts. Don't aim for just random numbers. The dollar's still holding right here. So this is what I talked about. Even with our massive fall, right? Even with all the other stuff going on, right? The dollar still didn't break this yet. Still holding. That was the TA from yesterday. So we also have bearish divergence, because you have on the 1 hour, because you have a lower high here and you have a higher high here. So you actually, it's really a 3.2, because you have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I'd be surprised if this holds. I mean, I'm not saying it can't, right, because of some of the news coming out, but I would want to see an explosion up, a pullback, a hold of support, and then we'll go for that 104. But I'll be really surprised if this holds. Man, the VIX is climbing, but lots of resistance in here as well. So let's talk about Bitcoin. I know that was the talk of yesterday, and I want to go over kind of what I said yesterday and where that played out. So the things that I watched for yesterday was, I saw the arrow here, right? The fact that we are in that oversold territory. Like I had mentioned, I think it was, I'm just trying to find the time. It was like right here. So I had said we were oversold, but it's, it still had some room to go, but we are oversold, and we still are, right? And that hasn't changed. The thing that many people were asking, they're like, man, this fall, this is crazy. Like, we got to 25.2. You guys know my thoughts from it yesterday was that we would, I've been watching this 28.1, I think it was somewhere around here, for some time. We had this falling wedge that we talked about that's been really good to us. So the big thing that I had mentioned yesterday, this is what could have saved you if you were taking longs, which you shouldn't have. We had talked about this purple line here, right? So a lot of support, and these are explosive supports, right? I mean, just explosive. I mean, there's not many like that, right? Where, I mean, look at these supports went up, like some of them, $6,000-$7,000, right? So part of what I had talked about yesterday is everything in trading is and or if, right? And so I had said I would not take, this was back here somewhere. I said I would not take a long until we flip the 200 SMA or EMA on the, or at least the 21 SMA, one of them, right? Don't take a long as long as you're below that. And you can see, since our death cross, we have not broken that 21 SMA. It's not broken it, and then it collapsed, right? So this was Wednesday's fall. We talked about going to 28.1. It got to 28.3. If y'all recall, I had said I still thought we would go further down to around that 28.1. I had said, as long as you're below this 21 SMA, I would stay short on that, right? So that played out really well. And look, we have not broken that the whole time. And then if you look at here, not only did we not break it, this is what causes, I know there was news, I get it. I see the data. The news kind of correlates with it, but I see the data. We had this trend line, the purple one, that was extremely strong. That was massive bounces that we got off of that. What happened? We broke it. We closed below it. They tried to push it back up to get the bounce to pull the support. Bears pushed it, right, because of the news. Tried again, tried again, tried again. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours that it tried to not lose this support line. Eventually, people believe that this support now has turned what? To resistance. Therefore, we get that candle. Once they get that confirmation candle, and this is what we say where the close of this bearish candle engulfed this lower right kind of doji, and so it engulfed that wick here, right? It closed lower than this wick. That's where everybody hopped on and said, forget it, we're going short, right? I guarantee you hedge funds hit in. Now, why does this wick happen? This wick doesn't always happen because everybody was shorting it, right? When you see a big wick all the way down to 25 and you get a massive pump right back to 26, 27, this is a lot of times a chain reaction of stop losses, right? So people that had their stop losses set in there, I mean, they just got absolutely wrecked on their longs. And so when they close a long, right, you're in a long because you bought it. When you close a long, you're selling it. And so as it hits the stop losses, it just goes bam, 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 bam. And then once all the stop losses get pushed out, right, a lot of people have the buy orders. I mean, even our zone tracker, look, it caught this this area, right? So if a lot of people get buy orders, so as the stop losses end up basically wearing down, then the buy orders all kick in, and that's how we shoot up like that. So we can take a look. I mean, 25.5 is, you look here, I mean, we had heavy support all through here. So it does not surprise me that a ton of people, hedge fund millionaires, people that like to take that chance, right? They're gonna take a massive order and they're gonna set a buy order right here because that's prior support, right? In that area. Also, see, look, prior resistance. What was once resistance turns support, right? And so we can take kind of a line right here where we have our resistance there and we have our support here. And then look, I didn't even look at it, but it's no coincidence that the wick hit there. So does it surprise me that we bounced there? Not really. I still think that if we flip that line, if we can actually create a lower low of 24.8, there may be another big fall coming, right? Like I told you, I have like 19.3 as my low. I don't think we're going there anytime soon. I said that yesterday, but with the Evergrande stuff and things going on, like the whole ETF stuff that's going on, it's possible, right? But I would suspect 25.1 is going to hold at least for a little bit. We'll probably range, come down, maybe push up again to 27, push back down for a retest. If it holds that retest, then we're going to go up in a big way. So if it can't hold that retest and we break it just like we did this trend line, if we break it and find as resistance, right, then I hate to break to you, we got further downside. So, but that's kind of my thought on Bitcoin. If you're in a long, if you got margin, right, then let it roll. But if you don't have margin, you might want to add some or cut your losses, right, on that. So, but yeah, this whole falling wedge right now to me is pretty much invalidated. What I'm gonna probably do is I'm gonna stretch this one. I'm gonna turn this one white, and I'm gonna delete this one for now. And we're just going to watch this range because I have a suspicion that we'll range here for a little bit, and then we'll get one little push back up here, and then this will be the next rejection. So we'll ride that back down. So let's talk about the ATA. So I talked about this in the room earlier, and the ATA is obviously amazing for the automation. It is, trading options, and options can be very profitable. It can be very risky, right? And we've done well. We've had a good stretch of, about 2 weeks or so without really any losses. I think we took like one before, but stop loss, but we regained it in like 2 trades. And so there was a trade that we took. We did not do any DCAs because of the news and stuff. That was right here. This one I had anticipated that we would get a bounce off of this line. I had thought that we would get the bounce back up to that 443.82 originally. We did not. News came out, and the rest is history right on that. So we did have this call that we were stuck in that is going to take a loss. We did take a win here, and we took a win there, right? So this one right here is going to equal these ones and probably a few others from the prior days. But we took some yesterday. We took a put. We also took a call. I had a third call here and I accidentally removed it. So, but we did take a put, and we did take a call somewhere in here. And so we did get two trades out yesterday. Um, as far as today, I really don't want to trade it today, guys. I just don't. I don't want to trade as a live trader. I don't want to trade as an automation. I know that it is probably not what people want to hear on the copy trade side, but it's kind of what we talk about when we teach people is you don't want to revenge trade. You don't want to take something that is like, oh dang, I took a loss on a trade or whatever, and then try to force something that you know is not the right time to force it. Because it just gets you, it's just gonna get you deeper, and they don't end up playing well. So I don't like this area right now because like I said, we could hold here and then shoot right back to 436, 437 within 10 minutes, because we're getting into some just ridiculous support from prior. However, with all the news and stuff, it could be enough to push it through the support, and we could be sitting at market close, 427 today. So there's just too much news impacted right now, and keep in mind that the ATAs are amazing, the strategies are amazing, but the strategies read TA, and news and volume always is going to trump TA no matter what. So and the fact that we can't do the fact that I don't want to do a longer contract days because I don't want stuff carrying through the weekend. I don't want to do a 0 day on a Friday because you got to be like extremely perfect. I'm just not going to do it. So I'm not going to run it. You all have the ability to run it. If you are someone who has been watching this regularly, you understand how to run this ATA. You are more than welcome to run yours. All you have to do is just uncheck the copy trade and add the indicator to your chart and fire it up, right? Some people are willing to take more risk than others, but I'm not going to do that right now. So that's the plan. So I'm just pretty much taking the day off, guys. But I wasn't even going to do the huddle. But with everything moving so much, I wanted to give my my 2 cents on where we're going with this. So, but that's all I have. Apple. I just wanted to look at Apple real quick. Apple is 170. Oh, I did want to touch on something amazing, guys. So we've been doing a lot of we're setting up a lot of different marketing campaigns, things like that. And those of you in the community, you guys know that we're always trying to figure out something better or a better way. We have a few things that we wanted to announce. One I will do now, the other one I will not. But let me save this actually, and let me try to see if I can load it back up. So we did do an update on the Live Trader for options, and I want to load that. Let's see if it's the new one. Aha! There it is. So we actually were able to get this out quicker than I thought. We have all of these symbols now that you can trade on Live Trader using our technology. So Apple, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Tesla. I mean, list goes on. So this was important to me, so we did want to push it really fast. I appreciate Alex's hard work on getting this up and going. But these are all live, so if you did add Live Trader, you can trade these other ones now. You just set your range. For those of you watching on TikTok, you're asking yourself, what is Live Trader? Don't worry about it. I did one yesterday. If you're on BotJock, I went over what it does, how it works. Just go into the community events and look at yesterday's, or go to the ATA_trader on YouTube. Now that we have this all set, we have these extra pairs. I am planning this weekend and next weekend to finalize our options side of the academy. So those that are in the academy, look for that release soon. We will add that content in there. So it's gonna be awesome. And the second news is we have some, with the release of a lot of the new products and things that we're doing. We wanted to restructure how we do our memberships. Don't freak out. It's going to be pretty much, I don't see any way that it's not better for pretty much everybody. So some it'll be better for you than others. But we are going to do grandfathering like we've done in the past when we do adjustments on the memberships. But the concept is we want to simplify how our memberships work to support the marketing campaigns that we're going to do. So more to come on that. Trust me, just give me till we're actually going to work to try to push it. Our hopes is to push it tomorrow evening. So once I push it, you'll get a full announcement on how it works and what the plan is. But super excited on this live trader stuff. So I appreciate you guys' time. I'm going to jump off here at 9. I will be driving, so I will probably not be answering a lot in the room. But just put, do the at admin Nick, and it'll message me. And when I get that message is when I will, when I stop or whatever, I'll try to respond. So, but I appreciate you guys' time. You guys have a great rest of your day.